Ashley, I'd like to begin with you. You've been reporting on Jared Kushner's role in pandemic response in the West Wing. How does this complaint by the whistleblower, Dr. Bright, how do some of the allegations in that mesh with your Washington Post reporting?
It's striking the similarities between the whistleblower complaint and another complaint that we reported on today that was filed by a volunteer under Jared Kushner's sort of shadow task force to House oversight on April 8th. And this volunteer was one of about 24 young men and women, very smart, hardworking, talented, who came from private equity and consulting firms to Washington to volunteer their time to try to help with this. And what this whistleblower wrote in this complaint, which sort of echoes Dr. Bright's complaint with different specifics, is that they encountered an environment full of challenges. They didn't have any experience with procurement, and they were tasked with procuring PPE. They didn't have any existing relationships with the manufacturers that they would need. Dr. Bright, you just mentioned, he talked of facing politics and cronyism and how he said he was supposed to steer business and decisions. These volunteers also reported that within the White House, there was a VIP list where internal VIP requests were tracked on a VIP spreadsheet, and external ones from someone like Fox News's Janine Pirro or Brian Kilmeade were told to be prioritized, and they took up a lot of the volunteers' time and energy, even though it was explained to us these tips weren't necessarily any better or worse than other ones. And so it was a level of mismanagement and chaos that caused one of these volunteers to go so far as to file a complaint to House oversight that in many ways on a very different track is not dissimilar from what Rick Bright outlined in his whistleblower complaint.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.